Doing good? Y'all are dressed up nicely, huh? I see, orange and black.
Pumpkin color, right?
Yeah, that's right. I see y'all are dressed up too. Just kidding. That's right. Everybody doing good? Yeah.
Brandon, how was the week off for you guys? Do you feel like you got a bunch accomplished that you wanted to get?
Yeah, we really did. We had a great open week. Obviously, much needed. I don't know if we've been this late in having an open week in a while. So, just being able to be 8-0 and feeling really, really good as far as being in that position, and then just being able to heal up some guys and just get loaded up again and kind of recommitting. That was the message to the team and to the offense for me was just, hey, it's time to recommit. And going into our championship phase of our program. Just excited, just really, really excited about where we are. And we had 3 practices last week. Was able to, review a lot of stuff, clean up some things, work on some new stuff. So it was a really, really good week.
Has DJ kind of flushed what happened to him against Syracuse and then move forward?
Yeah, I really do. I think he has. He had a great week of practice. Just bounced back like I thought he was gonna, and so just excited for him, being able to go back out there on Saturday and we've been in that environment before 2 years ago, and he's been in that environment before. Obviously, it was during COVID, so it wasn't a full fan base there, but he knows what to expect, and he had a really good week.
With him, how much does that recommitting go back to what he did in the off season? Some of the mechanical and things that got him where he was through 7 games. So
Yeah. Yeah, really, it's just a mindset. It really is. It's all about a mindset and how you, how you flush things and how you move forward and gaining that confidence back. And he did that last week. There was no question about it. Just excited about, how he has responded and how he will respond on Saturday. He's got his confidence back. There's no doubt about it. So that's really what it is, though, is that mindset and just being able to bounce back, and that's what he's been able to do.
Coach, that game 2 years ago at Notre Dame for DJ, did that raise expectations for him maybe a little unfairly?
Yeah, I think he still has the record for amount of yards at that place, there's but when you play this game, there's always going to be expectations, and there's always going to be things to work for and to try to, duplicate or even be better. And so, but he can take that game 2 years ago as, just confidence, just gaining confidence from being in that environment and just being a freshman. And then just even what he's been through since he's been in that environment for the last, 2 years, I think he's learned a lot. And so by him having that knowledge and that experience, and then on top of that, his leadership and how he has responded to a lot of things. I think, if anything, it gives him a ton of confidence going into that situation.
It seemed like a lot of people from the outside were thinking, okay, 400 yards a game, that should be every week.
Yeah, that's pretty unrealistic. But, I think if he just my message again to him is let's just keep it simple and just be in an attack mode all the time, and that's just basically confidence, just always having that confidence. And, and like I said, he bounced back last week in practice, had a great week, and didn't skip a beat at all. So that's the message, not just to him, but for the team, is just, being in attack mode nonstop is helps you with that confidence.
Brandon, what were some of the things that you on the offense wanted to reconnect with during the off week going forward for this final stretch of the season?
Yeah, there's a lot of things that you always want to work on, and number one, just execution on certain aspects of our game. Obviously we wanted to address the turnovers that we had against Syracuse. That was something that we were doing so well heading up into that game. I know we were in the top 5 in the country going into that game as an offense of holding on to the ball. So obviously we had addressed that and did a few more ball security drills just to make sure that it's emphasized. That would be the main thing that we really, really wanted to emphasize. And then just getting better individually, like everybody going into next week, or last week, having goals, set goals for the open week. Like, how are you going to get better? What are 3 things or 5 things that you can do individually to get better? And that's what they did. They all, I had opportunities to meet with the guys and meet with them and just talk to them about, what are their goals? How are you going to get better? And so each of those guys did that, wrote those goals down, and felt like attacked them really, really well.
Brandon, what's been your assessment of the receivers as a whole? Do you need more out of those guys to get where you guys want to be?
Yeah, no, I mean, I've been pretty pleased with the receivers. Number one, I think they've been a very, unselfish bunch. There's not just one guy that's getting all kinds of catches or targets. It's been spread out pretty well, which, as an offensive coordinator, that's a good thing because now they don't know which guy you're going to go to, and so I believe, number one, they've been all team players. They've been doing a great job of playing without the ball, too. That's something that we talk about all the time as an offense is guys that can do things when they don't have the ball, whether you're a tight end, running back, or receiver. And so they've all been very, very unselfish, and I've been really, really proud of them for that. And, I feel like there's plenty of pictures in those first 8 games of our receivers making a lot of plays and DJ giving them a chance to make a play. And so I think that confidence level in that position is really, really good right now.
With Bo not having a catch against the last couple games, is there something defenses have done to sort of take him away, or what's been sort of the cause of that?
Yeah, no, I think it's a mixture. It's a mixture of, some of the calls that were going to Bo didn't get to Bo. They just he didn't get the ball based on what the coverage was or whatever the case was. So, and then I got to do a better job of making sure he gets those touches because he's definitely a really, really good player that can do some really good things with the ball in his hands. So, that's something else, to make sure that I do a better job of is getting Bo Collins the football. And I talked to him about that after this last game especially. And once again, he's just such a great kid. He's like, Coach, all I care about is winning. That's been the mindset of all these guys. So it's a fun group, but I got to do a better job of that.
Brandon, in the summer, Jordan McFadden said that this offensive line group is probably the most cohesive unit that he's been a part of. What would you say is your assessment of that group so far, and how's that cohesion grown?
Yeah, I think that statement's very accurate. He is, starting with Jordan McFadden. I mean, he's been a staple to our offensive line for the last couple of years, and for him to say something like that, obviously he really means it, and he can feel it and sense it. And so I think y'all have seen a group that has come in and week out and not been perfect, but have done some really, really good stuff, whether it be in the run game or protection. To be honest with you, the majority of the sacks are not on the offensive line, and so, I believe that they are continuing to gain confidence as a group, and that's what you want as an offensive line group is cohesiveness. That's the key word, is unity and playing together and communicating, and they've been able to do all those things, which has allowed us to be successful in a lot of different ways.
Brandon, what have you seen out of Notre Dame's defense so far, and do they look much different than when you played them twice in 2020?
Yeah, Al Golden is the defensive coordinator. He's done a great job, and he's got a ton of experience. And this group is a very experienced group. A lot of seniors on their defensive roster. And so in saying that, they're smart. They understand their jobs. And so they're in the right spot a lot of the time. They don't give up, a ton of big plays. And they play well together. They're obviously a tough physical group. That's always been the case when you play Notre Dame. So very, very physical, tough, run to the ball well, and again, don't make many mistakes. And there's really not there's not a guy on defense that you can really focus in on and try to pick on because they're all good players, And so it'll be a big challenge for our group, and we're excited about that challenge.
Do you guys kind of throw out that early stretch for Notre Dame and kind of focus more on the way they're playing right now when they've won, 4 or 5 or something?
Yeah, absolutely. And as you guys know, I mean, it's about a one-game season, and we just lock into whoever we're playing next, and this is who we're playing. We're playing Notre Dame, and yes, they're playing better and better and gaining more and more confidence. And they're a really, really good football team, especially at home. So we just got to do what we've been doing as far as how we approach a game, how we take, like I said, one game at a time, and we don't play to the opponent. We play, our opponent is Clemson every week, and how do we approach that game? And so we'll continue to do that, but it will be a big challenge for us.
Do players still look at Notre Dame as this kind of iconic college football university, and do you have to kind of talk them out of it the first time they walk into that stadium?
I think every kid's a little bit different. Every kid, based on their experience. Some guys on this team have played these guys before a couple times, and so I think it's important that we address that as an offense and as a team for sure, and just understand that, hey, this group is going to be ready for us. They're a really good program. But at the same time, we just got to take care of our business and focus on us.
Brendan, when Cade came in against Syracuse, he didn't have to throw much. It worked out well. But how has he progressed, if he would have to come in for injury or otherwise, how has he progressed as a passer from summer to now?
Yeah, I think anytime you just get reps like he's getting in practice, and you gain just more and more confidence. And so anytime I've seen so many examples of guys that might have, when they first get here, struggle because they're not super comfortable with knowing exactly what's going on and having to learn the offense, and you just see the footwork all messed up, and then their timing is they're late and all those things. So he's been able to clean up a lot of those things stemming back from the spring and even in the summer. And so the more reps he gets, the more confidence he gets, and the more on time he is, and the more accurate he is. And I've seen guys go from, and not necessarily Cade's situation, but guys that, if they don't have that confidence, they don't look great. And then all of a sudden, once they gain that confidence and get that experience and maybe learn from their mistakes, they continue to grow. And that's what Cade has done. He's taken one day at a time. He's been able to watch a lot of football on game day, watch how DJ has played and how he responds to things. And I think he's learned a lot from that. And as well as his experience in practice has gone a long way. And so I think his footwork has been cleaned up. So he's more on time with a lot of things. His eye discipline and just his discipline on going through his progressions has gotten a lot better. And that just comes, again, from understanding the offense and just having those reps.
Are you confident in him running the entire offense at this point if he needed to?
Oh, yeah, absolutely. I mean, he has shown me that from day one. I mean, he's done a great job of not just having the energy and poise. He has a lot of the, if not all of the qualities that you want in a quarterback, and the guys rally around him, and he's just approached this whole situation very, very well. So I have a ton of confidence in him.
What do you make of Foskey, number 7, and the type of challenges that he brings?
Yeah, he's a really good football player. I mean, I think he has 7 sacks, if I'm not correct there. I think he's right around there. Just very athletic, plays hard. And we got to do a great job with him. And he has shown week in and week out that he can make those plays, and he shows a lot of different ways of making the plays. It's not just sacks that he's had, but he's done a lot of other good things too. He's a big kid. He's a strong kid. He can hold the point well, so it'll be a big challenge for our guys.
Is there one area that maybe the biggest challenge that you're thinking about heading into this game ahead of everything else?
Really it comes down to our execution and just being able to finish some of the drives maybe that we've been stalling when we passed the 50-yard line. There's been a couple times where we haven't finished in the end zone really, and not having to leave it up to our kicker who's so good, and thank goodness we have BT Potter. He's just been amazing. But just being able to finish in the red zone is something that I'd like to see us do a better job of, and of course taking care of the football.
Any questions for Coach from Zoom?
Go ahead, Dave. Hey, yeah, just Wesley Goodwin was talking a few minutes ago about Notre Dame kind of being an old school football team, got to put on your big boy pants. And defensively, with Isaiah Prosky out there at defensive end, J.B. Bertrand at linebacker, they are an old school kind of a defense. Is this another one of those things that, hey, this is going to be a physical football game, and
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, there's no doubt that has got to be the mindset going into this game is it's going to be a physical, it's going to be a fight, and it's going to be a fight for 4 quarters. And fortunately, I feel very, very confident with our guys and the fact that we've been in some dogfights and have been able to come out on top. And so we know this is a tough bunch on defense. I'm glad we got a tough bunch on offense. So it's going to be a big challenge. But, yeah, that's going to be the mindset. That has to be the mindset going into this game. And I know our guys will be ready to go. And I know our guys up front have shown week in and week out that, they're not going to back down to anybody. And they got confidence and they got toughness. And so and that's what's helping them that's what's helping them play so well and playing with unity up front.
Hey, Coach, it's Trevor from CTigers.com. I don't know if it's because quarterbacks are running so much more than they used to, but quarterback injuries have really been rampant across college football this season. Notre Dame's one of those schools that's been hit by it. Y'all have avoided that, knock wood, but DJ played hurt last year. How much more important is it now, more than ever, to have a capable, talented backup that's also prepared to go in at a moment's notice, maybe compared to back when you played?
Yeah, I'll tell you, it's very valuable to have multiple guys that you can feel that you have confidence in and going in there and playing. And obviously running the quarterback is a big part of our offense. And so, that's not going to change. DJ has done an awesome job of running the football this year. And, that's been one of the things that I've been really most pleased with is just his confidence and his ability to run that football. And so, but having multiple guys that are able to do that is a plus. And so we're excited about having that opportunity with multiple guys.
Is that something that plays into recruiting as well when you're recruiting these highly touted guys that, look, you may think that you're buried on the depth chart, but, it doesn't necessarily mean you won't get the opportunity to play right off the bat?
Yeah, I think it's important because, depth charts change all the time, So one thing we talk about in the recruiting process is, as you make some decisions, don't put all your eggs in the basket of the depth chart because that depth chart can change, on a weekly basis, whether it be injury or whatever the case is. And so what you can base everything on is, who you're going to be around each and every day and the culture and the success that you're going to have. And so that's what we talk about in the recruiting process. And for me, just getting a quarterback that understands that, hey, you're going to be the face of the program and you got to do a lot of things. And it's not just standing back there in the pocket and throwing the ball. You're going to have to be able to run the football and help this team in any way possible. And fortunately, we've been blessed with guys that have been able to do that, since I've been here. And that has allowed our offense to be successful.
Hey, Brandon, this is Anna Adams with Clemson 24/7. How have you seen Walker Parks kind of progress as the season as he's settled in that interior spot?
Really good. I mean, I feel like there's always, every week, there's something, whether it be technical or whatever, for Walker to work on just because he is in a new spot. But, man, I'll tell you what, most importantly, he has improved in a lot of areas. And just feeling comfortable as an inside guy, you never have to question his toughness or his physicality. Those things are definitely natural for him, and he's done a great job of that. Just technically, each week, we're pointing out things for him to get better at, and he's going and correcting them, and that's a good sign.
Anyone else for Coach? Thank you, Coach.
All right, thank y'all.